I see recording live. So we're ready to go then, Julie.
I believe so. Yep.
Is everybody here then too? I know the members are here.
Yeah, the mayor's getting on right now. I can see his lights from his office. So.
And because I can only see part of the crew here.
Oh, so. That's right, because you're on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then we'll go ahead and start. Good evening, everyone. This is a special meeting of the Law Ordinance Zoning Permits Committee. And for the folks out in the general public, the reason why we're having this special meeting was because we had some technical difficulties on Tuesday, and it was not due to the operator, so to speak.
This time.
Apparently, there was an issue with Facebook itself, and that's the reason why we could not broadcast at that time. So I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. All members are present. Ms. Alt, Mr. Triplett, and Mr. Richard. We also have present with us tonight our Mayor, Tom O'Leary, as well as our Law Director, Thomas Palmer, and our Safety Service Director, Nikki Ward. If the members had a chance, have you looked at the minutes from our April 6th meeting?
Go ahead, Sarah.
Yes, I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes from the April 6th meeting.
I'll second that.
Ms. Alt made the motion. Mr. Triplett seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes from April 6th meeting has been approved. Is there anything to add to the agenda for tonight?
You can't. It's a special meeting.
Oh, that's special. My apologies. We have two things on the agenda. So I would like to see, if we could, a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
I'll approve the agenda as published.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Triplett made the motions. Ms. Alt seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. The agenda has been approved. We'll just head straight into the first item, which is food trucks. I'm not sure who wants to take this, Nikki or Tom.
Nikki is probably on there now, so I'll let her do that. I'll comment after she explains kind of the current situation.
Okay.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Technical difficulties here too. Okay, so what has brought this up again is we recently had a request from a gentleman who wants to take a hot dog cart to the parks. I think specifically he wants to go to the Splash Park. So our intention initially was to treat him as an itinerant vendor, but upon closer inspection of the ordinance, selling goods of any kind on city property, including sidewalks or streets, is specifically prohibited. So we're in a situation of needing to either, modify the ordinance to bring it into this century. I don't know when this one was 04. So food trucks weren't a thing back then. And so I think we need to make some decisions about how and where and all of that.
They've sure been operating uptown on the street for a long time with no issue.
Well, I would say, Mark, we dodged a bullet, if I might, Michael. We dodged a bullet on that. I think the current practice is to just cone off one spot, in the second half of usually Friday. I think what raised the issue a year or two ago was a couple of spots kind of all day long. So That's probably why it hasn't reemerged. So I think that's probably a good thing to look at the ordinance. I'm in favor of that. Specifically, the other one that goes on, I think it's great for Heisey Park, is the ice cream guy's been down there. You know, I don't want to write him a citation, but what he does down there, that you can't do that according to the ordinance.
Well,
So,
what about the
huh?
Oktoberfest?
Pardon me?
What about Oktoberfest?
Yeah, I don't know what the compliance on that, Mark, is for sure. I don't know.
I'd say we just eliminate illegal and allow them to happen. As long as their vehicle can pass the health department inspection.
Yeah. That simplifies it.
Right, with any limitations
yeah.
or conditions, Mark, or just, you can do it.
I would just say, you know, we've been doing it.
Yeah.
So why start limiting it now?
Yeah, I have to agree with Mark to just change the either eliminate that line or change that line so it doesn't make it a issue, and go from there.
You know, add in there, they have to pass the health department inspection. That'd be the only thing
Yeah.
you need to do.
What is that, Nikki? Is that part of I'm sure it is part of a larger ordinance. What else is in that ordinance? I'm sure it's not just.
Yeah, this is the peddlers, the solicitors, so the canvassers, so that, you know, the door-to-door guys, and then people putting stuff on your windshields, all of that stuff is covered. You know, we give out solicitors permits all the time. And we thought the itinerant section would be the way to go on this because they are in and out, but then, like I said, no can do, but it does cover a bunch of other, you know, moving sales, so to speak.
The Fuller Brush Man would have to have a registration these days. Right? Go door to door to
Yes.
sell Fuller brushes.
Yes.
I
you have
remember
to
that
have
as a
a
child.
solicitor's
You'd have to
permit.
be able to have a permit to do that.
Yep, it's $15 and we do a background check through the PD before we issue that. But they have to be able to show it at the door when they knock on someone's door, but yes.
I'm in favor of modifying to get rid of that itinerant vendor, whatever, that section, but I think we want to keep the rest of it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think for nothing else, just to protect the public from unscrupulous individuals.
Yeah, it's bad enough getting the phone calls and trying to discern which ones are legit, not. I think we want to make sure that they go through that process. I won't name companies, but the lawn service companies are kind of regulars in getting those permits. I actually had somebody knock on my front door about my waterproof basement. So they generally get a permit, operate within the ordinance. So
So I guess,
yeah.
I think it's really exciting about the food trucks and all of that. Is there any limitation that we would want to put on for how long they can be in a spot or how many spots they can take up? Like I definitely want them to come into town. I think it's really exciting, especially whenever we've got softball tournaments or football games or whatever. But
Right.
thinking about downtown area, should we have them kind of in one spot and say, this is where the food trucks can go? Or can they kind of line the streets? What do you guys think about those sorts of things?
Well, I think that was Oktoberfest. What about that? I don't know. That would be the day. It'd be a good day when you had multiple folks that were there independent of we were talking today, the brewery where they still have that with some regularity. I was told that all they do is allow them to plug into their electric. So in terms of people jumping to, well, that benefits one restaurant over another. It's like, yeah, probably not. They're giving away the electricity if it benefits. So that might be a consideration, not exactly about, the only thing that I would maybe suggest is that the limiting the number of hours that they're there is something, but all of a sudden you start, re-regulating, but the coning it off hours in advance was the thing that we heard about a few years ago. So if you limited you couldn't just park it there. I don't know how to say that in the ordinance form, but you'd have to, you couldn't just set it on the square and sell hot dogs 5 days a week. I don't think, I'm not sure. I wouldn't want that. I'm not sure that's what we want. So.
I would say get a day permit, health department inspection, and 8 hours at the max.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that simplifies it. I think that they don't even come to us, Mark, without rerouting it. They shouldn't even come to us for that permit until they have clearance, okay from the health department. Go there first, get okayed. They get certified by the state to do that. And so if they have that permit, then come to us and one day at a time, and it's a start.
Would you do the background check like you do for?
If they're inspected through the state, what would you need a background check for?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, Julie, or
I mean,
Mark's
for like
question.
you got, people going door to door, every vendor, they have to have a background check.
Yeah, but I would suggest that we don't do anything more than what we do for Oktoberfest vendors.
Yep.
well,
Except
yeah,
it's on a day by day basis.
Right.
We would issue those permits. I don't want to make any money or charge them for it. That's kind of too typical of government. Regulate it and then tax it. So, there won't be much administrative time just getting that in and making sure somebody had a right to be there.
I was gonna say to Mark's point too was the only ones that are going to getting health department issues would be anybody issuing food or
Yeah.
Full of brush man, as you said. He's not going to do that. He still would be required to get a permit, which includes a background check for him and stuff like that. I think that like Mark has kind of alluded to, that let's keep it simple and then see what happens. And then if we need to come back and revisit it, we can revisit with specific issues.
Mm-hmm. I don't, on the Fuller Brush, I not to inadvertently offend anyone who did. They came to my house and I enjoyed that as a kid, but it's, it's a different kind of door to door than that's not what we see up here with the folks who are complying with the solicitation permit now. But yeah, I don't know, Nikki, you think that works for our hot dog guy?
Yep, I just want to ask about, are we going to limit this to food vendors? Say someone has I don't know, CBD oil that they sell. That's the kind of stuff, are we going to limit it just to vendors selling food?
That would be like
keychains and hats.
Well,
And I guess my question is more the carts in the park than, the food trucks or whatever, but I want to just make sure when I'm giving people a yes or no, that this is stuff we're all comfortable with being sold.
Yeah, I was thinking about those blankets that you would buy, the black light blankets.
Yep.
Your friends had in their trailer, that stuff. Yeah, I don't think
Velvet
our
pictures.
intent is to do that. I don't know, if we had a public flea market, that might be different. This is, I guess my opinion on what you ask is, let's limit it to, food vendors and cross that other bridge, you
Yep.
know, if it.
I agree.
somebody Says CBD is just as good as whatever.
We'll have to
Snake oil
define
salesman.
food, but that's
Pardon
okay.
me?
We'll have to
Yeah.
define food. I mean, you always have to do your definition. but-
Yeah, I got that. That sounds like the legal department.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyways, that's,
How would you define food, Thomas?
Believe me,
Oh.
I'm sure there's other cities that have done exactly that.
that's,
So we'll,
there you
we'll find a good way to do it. I think what I've heard, gentlemen, and Ms. Alt, is that, and Nikki, that what we'll do is just take all that we've heard today and kind of put it in ordinance form, if that'll work for you all. So the next time we have a meeting, you guys, everyone can see it and react to it.
And
Yeah.
can I say one more thing?
Please.
So like, Delaware has that really cool food truck court. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but where they have like, it's at their old train depot. It's really, really cool. They have like a basketball court and a volleyball court outside, and then food trucks come and they line it, and then they kind of have like events there. So if there were a couple of food trucks that wanted to get together and do like a pod of them and have like a night where they all came together, could that be something that we could put in there also? I don't know that we would have to, but I think that that is something that they like, those vendors like to do, is kind of all get together, because it increases the traffic. If you've got 5 food trucks, you're gonna have more people coming. And,
Yep.
you know, I think that that would be, I guess we wouldn't have to put that in there, as long as we would be okay with that happening, you know.
yeah, I think, I hope on the 22nd, the depot days, Kara, is that they get more than one food truck. So that's kind of the idea is, it's a really good idea.
Well, if you guys get the chance after all this COVID is over, that is such a cool spot to go down to there. It's such a really neat idea and area that they've developed. It's kind of on the outside of their downtown, but it gets really busy, and they have some indoor space and then some outdoor space where you can sit and eat and play volleyball or basketball or whatever outside. So that may be a good use of, you know, some of the lesser used parks or whatever, for maybe like one day a month or what have you. When I saw the food trucks on here, I got excited. I think it brings a lot of potential for people to visit and stop whenever they're coming through town. So I think that's exciting.
I was going to say, Kara, with what we're being proposed right now, that would not be prohibited. So, yeah, I mean, you would still treat each vendor as an entity that needs to go through a process, but yeah, that would not be prohibited.
And then if they wanted to go into the parks and they needed access to water or electricity, would they have that there? Or would there be a, I'm sure
Well,
it'd be a
Pickle
small
Run,
cost.
Kara, Pickle Run has like the historic typical exemption. They hook up water for free, and we drop them, I don't know, 1 or 2, Mark, electrical
Yeah, temporary.
temps, yeah. So, and then that, no one's charged for that, or the other way to put it honestly is everybody's charged for that, but
Okay.
that's how it's handled now. I think it's as they say in Wizard of Oz, horse of a different color if these aren't self-contained trucks. It's like, well, we're up here. You run into that up at the depot with ice cream trucks without getting into too much minutia. Yeah, we'd love to have an ice cream truck. Well, you got to plug it in. It's like, oh crap, we need a temporary drop. And so I think once we knew what was expected by a potential food truck court, we could probably provide that. How we meter it might be something to
Yeah.
think about if we,
Yeah.
when we get to that point.
I would say, instead of getting into all that, just say self-contained.
Yeah, me too. For now, I agree.
I mean, you know, unless we have the Oktoberfest and you got a full-blown layout,
Mhm.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
an annoyance more than anything else.
Well, the pickle run, they want to use a lot of water making those lemon shake ups and stuff. So that's one of the first considerations in order for that festival to go on. So I don't, I think we start small with this proposal and then see what, I
Simple.
can't imagine anything but good things happening.
Yeah. So, anybody have anything else on this subject? Thomas, then you know where we want to go with this?
Yep, we'll get you something by next meeting and you can react to it and we'll get it out before the meeting.
Okay, is that all right with you, Mark and Kara?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
fine. Just say edible food.
Consumable, yeah, never mind. So, okay, so how about we move on to the next item? Possible amending of ordinance, which is the original 2014-101, and later was 2017-11. Who would like to take this?
I'll start. I would say that the issue of what organizations are authorized by the bylaws in the Freeze Foundations, it came up. It didn't come up because 5 years ago we gave the YMCA money to pave a parking lot. It came up, in this overall discussion, the Freeze Fund. So I think so when there were two ordinances out there, the one that created the Freeze Advisory Committee, and then for historic purposes, that was to but to have some sort of process that projects could be submitted to the city, some sort of
Very
narrowing
dropping
of
out.
those, and then go to council. And so I think overall that Freeze Advisory Group has worked really pretty well. So that's the first ordinance. The one, I think it was in 17. I think that was the one that help me.
17-11.
Yeah, that 1711 was the one that really put in place the 75-25 split for non-city projects and really opened up those dollars for what's turned out to be a lot of funding to the school. And I think in some years, more or less funding for nonprofits. So the thing that I wanted to point out and begin a discussion is how we, because I think those projects have been good, how we make sure that in the future, that is done consistent with the foundation's rules and bylaws and regs. So that's kind of trying to be middle of the road on the subject. I'm not sure who would want to pick it up from there.
I have an
Definitely.
opinion
I
that
mean,
if the bylaws say the city and the schools are the, whatever you call them, then that should be
Beneficiaries.
the ordinances.
any thoughts on that, Thomas? I don't want to call you out, but I think it's
No, it's okay.
the city property, the public property versus putting things on private property that we want to
Yeah,
try to clarify.
Yeah, that's sort of a separate issue, Tom. That's a constitutional issue. What we're dealing with here is really basically an interpretation of the, as Tom mentioned, the organizing documents for the Freeze Foundation. All I will say is this, members of the committee, that right now there is a process going on. It started, we've had a legal opinion rendered on behalf of the city by an outside entity. And in addition to that, the Freeze Foundation itself is looking at this issue. I completely agree with Tom that this is something which it's unlikely that it's going to be able to be going forward without being tweaked in some way, shape, or form. But how it will be tweaked, I don't know right now. Some of that needs to be worked through. I understand what you were saying, Mark, and I'm not disagreeing with you, sir. I'm just saying that the decision on whether or not to go back to court, the decision of the Freeze Foundation itself in terms of if they get legal counsel and what their legal counsel will be telling them, and if it's something different than the city's legal counsel, all that's being worked through. And so until that process is concluded, I think that certainly this is a worthwhile conversation to have, and it's an important one to have. But I think reaching a conclusion right at this particular point in time is something that's probably not going to be possible.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
I wasn't really concluding anything, but
Yeah,
if that's the problem, then it's easy to fix. But if
Yep.
we're still, lawyers are still talking about it, that could take years.
Maybe. Yeah, I think I guess what I was trying to do, Michael, is increasingly the committee process, if you will, or effort has been focused around specific pieces of legislation. Administration brings a piece of legislation, okay, yay, nay, vote it out, put it on the agenda. I think we'll probably be better off if we have general discussions about what's going on, whether it's freeze or food trucks. I think there's some utility matters to just talk, the vehicle chargers, another example of bringing stuff to get feedback from council. So it isn't, we keep that coordination that we benefited from the last, 7, 8 years. So that, I mean, it's just stuff to think about, I think, and not belabor it and go on forever, but some things that are out there that I don't want them to arrive like, where in the heck did that come from? So that's really the purpose.
Well, and I agree with you, Tom. I think that, and by all means, I think everyone is committee as well as the other committees believe that if there's a discussion issue, certainly let's bring it to a committee. That is oversight for that particular item, and let's have a discussion. We don't really. It's not a mandate that everything comes before us that has to be acted upon. And matter of fact, many things are carried over numerous times. Sometimes nothing gets done with them because, like with this item, we're still in a kind of a legal question area, so to speak. So by all means, I think that your office, as well as anybody on the committee, by all means, let myself, Mark, or Kara, or Julie know, and hey, let's put it on. Let's talk about it.
Yep.
Okay, I just probably nothing more to add other than I think all the projects that went through last time meet this general criteria. So, but we've qualified the why, we've done some other ways to get the goal accomplished and stay out of the gray area, but the resolve in that when we can, I think that's all I wanted to communicate. And I think that historic projects, I think anyone who's to complain because any project one might pick out is, that went to the wrong group here or there. I think that in that case, council approved them and the Freeze Foundation, voted appropriately. So I think that part of it, I'm not worried about that backfiring on us but I do think going forward, we want to clarify it.
Right, and I agree that I think that with what's going on, we will eventually be at a point where we will have to either both or at least one of the ordinances down the road as soon as that information is available to us, we can do that then. So, is anybody else? Mark, Kara, you have any thoughts?
No, I don't have any thoughts. I just, when you get lawyers involved, it takes a long time for them to figure stuff out.
Yeah, there's a process.
You keep baiting him and Thomas just keeps sitting there, Mark. huh?
I'm taking it on the chin. I'm okay
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah. Hey,
you
I'll
know-
get one other kind of funny, if I might. I want to dissuade the myth that's out there that somehow I get paid by the word. And so that's why I use all these words, so I get paid more. It's not true, but it may seem that way.
I haven't heard that one, but
Yeah, well, I just made it up for just for giggles. So
Pretty good.
anyway, I appreciate you listening.
Too funny.
does anybody else have anything on this at this time? I don't think so. Okay. Since we don't have any other business, the next meeting will be June 1st. It's a Tuesday here at it's on Zoom unless we get notification otherwise. And with that, if we have somebody would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Triplett made the motion. Ms. Alt seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. I don't have a timer here.
7:32.
7:32. Okay,
Yep.
well, thank everyone for joining us tonight.
Tom, can you stay on a second?